I returned to Bangkok from my emergency trip to Cleveland to find our condo empty and $320,000 gone. The woman I'd married 6 months earlier, the woman who'd seemed so different from the stereotypical bar girls, so educated and independent, had vanished with everything I'd saved in 37 years of selling auto parts. Standing in that hollow condo in the Asoke district, staring at bare walls where our furniture had been, I finally understood what I'd been to Mona. Not a husband, not a partner, just a sophisticated Mark who'd been too eager to believe that this time it was different, that this woman was real. The marriage certificate in my hand had official government stamps, legal signatures, witness statements, all legitimate, all designed to give her legal access to everything I owned. I was 62 years old, standing in an empty apartment I thought I'd purchased, holding bank statements, showing every dollar I'd worked for since I was 25, all gone. Transferred willingly to my wife, my legal wife, who'd played her role so perfectly I never suspected until it was too late. But 16 months earlier, sitting in my house in Cleveland, 2 weeks after signing divorce papers from my wife of 34 years, I had no idea any of this was coming. 16 months earlier, I thought Thailand would be my fresh start, a place where I could find genuine love without the complications and cynicism of American dating. I thought I was being smart, careful, different from those other guys who got scammed. Instead, I walked straight into the most elaborate con of my life. If you've been enjoying the stories I create, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Your support is crucial for the growth of this channel and helps me dedicate time to making these videos despite my commitment to a full-time job. Thank you for being here. My name is Stephen Harmon, though everyone calls me Steve. I turned 62 on a cold February morning in 2024, sitting alone in my house in Parma, a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. The divorce had been finalized 3 weeks earlier. The house was in my name, but felt haunted by 34 years of marriage that had slowly died. My wife Linda and I had grown apart in that way. Couples do so. Gradually, you don't notice until you wake up one day realizing you're living with a stranger. We'd built Harmon Auto Supply together in 1991, a small wholesale business selling parts to local repair shops. It did well, never made us rich, but provided a solid middle-class life. We'd raised 2 kids, Jessica, who was 36 and living in Denver, and Michael, who was 33, working in Chicago. They were busy with their own lives, their own families. We'd become people they called on holidays and forgot the rest of the year. Linda and I stopped talking somewhere around 2015. We'd have dinner in silence, watch TV in separate rooms, sleep on opposite sides of the bed without touching. When she finally said she wanted a divorce in late 2023, I felt more relief than sadness. We'd sold the business in November for $540,000. After splitting everything, the business, our house, savings, I walked away with $380,000 and this house in Parma. My kids barely reacted to the divorce. Jessica called to say she was sorry but not surprised. Michael sent a text, "Let me know if you need anything." That was it. I was 61, alone, financially comfortable, and had absolutely no idea what to do with the rest of my life. Cleveland winters are brutal gray skies, freezing wind, dirty snow that never fully melts. I'd spend days not leaving the house, ordering delivery, watching the same shows over and over. The loneliness was crushing in a way I'd never experienced. I tried dating, created profiles on Match and eHarmony, went on a few dates with women my age. One talked about her ex-husband the entire time. Another was clearly looking for someone to fix her financial problems. A third spent the evening on her phone texting her kids. American women my age seemed tired, bitter, carrying decades of disappointment and expecting me to somehow make up for it. I didn't want that. I wanted someone warm, genuine, uncomplicated. One night in March, unable to sleep, I started watching YouTube videos about retiring abroad. The algorithm showed me content about Thailand Americans living in Bangkok and Pattaya, talking about the weather, the food, the cost of living, but also about the women. They didn't say it directly, but the implication was clear. Thai women appreciated Western men in a way American women didn't anymore. They were traditional, family-oriented, not jaded by feminism and dating apps. I told myself that was reductive and probably racist, but late at night, watching these men with younger Thai partners who seemed genuinely happy, I couldn't help wondering if they'd found something real that was impossible to find in Cleveland. Thailand started feeling less like a place and more like an answer. In April 2024, I made my decision. I'd sell the house, take my savings, and move to Thailand. Not to chase bar girls or buy companionship, but to start over somewhere warm and welcoming, where maybe, just maybe, I could find genuine connection. I called Jessica to tell her. She sounded concerned. "Dad, that seems really impulsive. Have you even been to Thailand?" "I've done my research. Tons of Americans retire there. There's whole communities. But you don't know anyone. What if you hate it? Then I'll come back." "But I can't stay here, Jess. This house, this city, everything reminds me of 34 years that ended in nothing. I just worry you're running away instead of dealing with things. Maybe I am, but at 62, I'm allowed to run. I'm tired of dealing." The house sold in 6 weeks for $270,000. After paying off the remaining mortgage and fees, I netted $212,000. Total liquid assets, $592,000. More money than I'd ever had at once. Enough to live extremely well in Thailand for the rest of my life if I was careful. Or enough to lose everything if I wasn't. I sold or donated most of my possessions. 34 years of married life, reduced to 2 suitcases and some boxes in Michael's garage. I kept my laptop, important documents, and a photo album Linda had made when the kids were young. On May 23, 2024, I locked my empty house, took an Uber to Cleveland Hopkins Airport, and boarded a flight to Bangkok. One-way ticket, 2 suitcases, $592,000 in my Bank of America account, everything I'd known left behind. As the plane lifted off, Cleveland disappeared beneath clouds. I ordered a whiskey and thought about my father, who'd worked the same factory job for 40 years and died at 65 without ever seeing the world. I was doing what he never could, starting over, taking a risk, living. Bangkok's heat was staggering. 37 degrees at noon with humidity that made breathing feel like drowning. After Cleveland's cold spring, the heat felt almost absurd, but also invigorating, like the weather itself was announcing this was somewhere completely different. I'd booked a serviced apartment in the Sukhumvit area based on Expat blogs. A 1-bedroom place for 18,000 baht monthly, about $520. Nice building, pool, gym, close to the BTS train. The city was overwhelming, massive. 7 million people and chaos everywhere, motorbikes weaving through traffic, street vendors on every corner, shopping malls that made American malls look tiny. The BTS train system was clean and efficient, but packed with people. Everything was cheap. A full meal at a local restaurant cost 60 to 100 baht, under $3. A haircut was 150 baht. Beer at 7-Eleven was cheaper than water. My apartment that would have been 1,500 in Cleveland was 520. I did the math constantly. If I kept my expenses under $2,500 monthly, my savings would last 19 years. I'd be 81, but I was still alone. I'd watch couples, Western men with Thai women, yes, but also Thai couples, tourists, families, and feel that familiar ache. I'd left Cleveland to escape loneliness, but loneliness had followed me halfway around the world. I tried meeting people at expat bars, found a place called The Dukes in Sukhumvit where Americans gathered to watch sports. Met a few guys, Bob from Texas, Ray from California, Mike from somewhere in Florida. They were friendly, but guarded. Everyone in Thailand seemed to have a story they didn't want to tell. After a month, I hadn't met any women. I'd seen plenty working in bars and massage shops, but I didn't want that. I wanted something real, something that felt like actual connection, not transaction. In late June, I downloaded a dating app, Thai Cupid, one of the bigger ones for foreigners looking to meet Thai women. I told myself I was just exploring options, not desperate. I created an honest profile. Recent photo showing a 62-year-old man with gray hair and a slight gut. No lies about my age or situation. Bio saying I was recently retired, new to Bangkok, looking for genuine connection and companionship. I got a lot of messages, mostly from women who were clearly working profiles with glamour shots, bios mentioning being open-minded or flexible about arrangements. I ignored those. Then, I got a message from someone different. Her name was Chalida, though she went by Mona, 30 years old according to her profile. Photos showed an attractive woman, but not overly sexualized, casual clothes, natural makeup, genuine smiles. Her bio said she was a freelance translator and tour guide, educated in English, looking for someone serious and stable. Her message was polite and specific. Hi, Steve. I saw your profile and appreciated how honest you seem. I'm not looking for games or anything casual. I'd really like to meet someone mature who wants to build something real. If you're interested in chatting, I'd be happy to get to know you. It felt different from the other messages, more thoughtful, less transactional. I replied, "Hi Mona, thanks for reaching out. I appreciated your message and your profile seems genuine. I'd definitely be interested in getting to know you better. Maybe we could meet for coffee sometime?" We messaged for 3 days before meeting. She asked about my life, what brought me to Thailand, what I did before retiring, what I was looking for. I asked about hers. She said she'd studied English at Ramkhamhaeng University, worked as a translator for small companies, did some tour guiding for extra income. "I'm not a bar girl," she wrote at one point. "I know that's what a lot of foreign men come here looking for, but that's not me. I have an education. I work. I want a real relationship with someone who respects me." That reassured me. This wasn't someone looking for handouts. This was an educated, independent woman who wanted genuine connection. We agreed to meet at a coffee shop in Thong Lor, an upscale neighborhood. I arrived early, nervous like a teenager. When she walked in, I recognized her immediately from her photos. She looked professional, nice dress, minimal makeup, carrying a leather bag. "Steve," she smiled warmly. "Nice to finally meet you. You too. Thanks for coming." We talked for 3 hours. She was articulate, funny, asked intelligent questions. She told me about growing up in Bangkok, about her family. Her mother was a retired teacher. Her father owned a small shop. They were middle class, not poor. She'd gone to university, always worked, never been to bars or done that kind of work. "A lot of Western men come here with stereotypes," she said. "They think all Thai women are uneducated girls looking for money. But Thailand has doctors, lawyers, teachers, businesswomen. I just happen to be single and open to meeting someone from abroad." I told her about my divorce, my kids, why I'd come to Thailand. She listened attentively, asked thoughtful questions, seemed genuinely interested. "You seem like a good person," she said as we were leaving. "I'd like to see you again if you're interested." "I'd like that very much." We started dating properly. She had her own life translation work she did from home, tour guiding gigs, friends she'd meet for dinner. She wasn't clingy or demanding. She paid for herself most of the time, insisting she wasn't with me for money. "I have my own income," she'd say when I tried to pay for dinner. "I appreciate the gesture, but I want this to be about us, not about your wallet." That made me like her even more. This wasn't someone looking for a sugar daddy. This was someone who wanted an equal partnership. We took things slow, dated for 6 weeks before sleeping together. When we finally did, it felt natural and right, like adults choosing to be intimate, not a transaction. After 2 months, she suggested I move to a better apartment. "That serviced apartment is okay for short term," she said, "but if you're staying in Bangkok long term, you should get a real condo. Build equity instead of just paying rent." It made sense. What kind of place should I look for? "Let me help you look. I know Bangkok better. I can negotiate in Thai. Make sure you don't get overcharged." We spent 2 weeks looking at condos. Found a nice 1-bedroom place in a Soke modern building. Good location, 45 square meters. The seller wanted 3.8 million baht, about $110,000. Mona negotiated them down to 3.5 million, about 100,000. She helped with all the paperwork, made sure everything was legal and proper. "You should put it in my name," she suggested. "Foreigners can only own up to 49% of units in a building, and this building is at the limit. If you put it in a Thai name, it's easier and we avoid complications." I hesitated, but then I wouldn't own it. "Legally, no. But we can have a separate agreement stating you paid for it. And Steve," she took my hand, "I think we're building something serious here. If we're together long term, it doesn't matter whose name it's in. It's ours." She was right. We'd been dating 3 months and it felt real, solid, like we were building towards something permanent. I transferred $100,000. The condo went in Mona's name. Looking back now, that should have been the warning sign. That's when I should have walked away. But I was 62 and in love, and convinced I'd finally found something real. Moving into the condo felt like a real milestone. Our place, the start of our life together. Mona helped furnish it. She had good taste, knew where to find deals, negotiated prices in Thai. We bought a bed, sofa, dining table, TV, all the things that made it feel like home. She spent more nights there than at her own apartment, a small place she shared with a roommate in a less nice area. After a month, I suggested she just move in properly. "Are you sure?" she asked. "That's a big step." "I'm sure. We're together all the time anyway. Why maintain two places?" She moved in October 2024, brought her clothes, her laptop, some personal items. She set up a little office area where she did her translation work. She'd sit there in the mornings working on documents, professional and focused. Having her there felt right. We'd have coffee together in the mornings before she started work. We'd cook dinner together in the evenings. We'd watch Netflix on the couch, her head on my shoulder. It felt domestic, real, like I'd finally built the life I'd wanted. My kids noticed the change. Jessica called in November. "You sound different, Dad. Happier." "I am happy. Actually met someone." "In Thailand? That's great. Tell me about her." "Her name's Mona. She's Thai, 30 years old, works as a translator. Really smart, independent, nothing like the stereotypes." Long pause. 30? Dad, that's 32 years younger than you. I know how old she is. And she's with me because she wants to be, not because of my age or money. I'm sure she's lovely. Just be careful, okay? I've heard stories about foreigners getting scammed in Thailand. Mona's not a scammer. She has her own career. She pays her own way most of the time. This is real, Jess. "Okay, I'm happy for you. Just promise me you'll be smart about money." "I'm always smart about money." That was a lie, of course, but I believed it at the time. Mona and I fell into comfortable patterns. She'd do her translation work during the day while I explored Bangkok, walking around markets, visiting temples, meeting other expats for lunch. She'd usually have dinner ready when I got home, or we'd go out to nice restaurants in Sukhumvit. She never directly asked for money, but there were small things. Her laptop was old and slow, affecting her work. Could I help her get a new one? 18,000 baht, about $520. Of course I could. Her mother needed medicine for diabetes. Could I help? 10,000 baht monthly, about $290. Absolutely. Her roommate from the old apartment needed help with rent because she'd lost her job, just temporarily. 5,000 baht, about $145. Sure, nothing huge, nothing that felt like a red flag, just normal things that people help their partners with. I was spending maybe $2,000 monthly on these extras, well within my budget. In December, we'd been together 6 months. Mona brought up something over dinner. "Steve, I've been thinking about our future." "What about it?" "We've been together 6 months now, living together 4 months. This feels serious to me." "Does it feel serious to you?" "Very serious." "Then maybe we should make it official. Get married." My heart jumped. "You want to marry me?" "I do. Not just for a visa or status or any of that. I want to marry you because I love you, and I want to build a real life with you." "I love you too." I did. I really did. "But are you sure? The age difference?" "I don't care about the age difference. You're the kindest, most stable man I've ever met. You treat me like an equal, not like property or a trophy. That's what matters." We got married in January 2025 at the Bangrak district office. Nothing fancy, just the legal ceremony with 2 witnesses we found at the office. Mona wore a simple white dress. I wore a suit. We signed documents, took photos, walked out legally married. Her mother came to Bangkok to celebrate. Small party at a nice restaurant. Her mother was lovely, warm, friendly, thanking me in broken English for making her daughter happy. She gave us a traditional Thai blessing, wishing us long life and happiness. I felt legitimate, official. This wasn't some sketchy arrangement. This was a legal marriage recognized by both Thailand and the US. Being married changed things subtly. Mona started talking about our future in bigger terms, about maybe starting a business together, a translation agency that could serve international clients. She had the language skills and industry connections. I had the business experience and capital. We could be real partners, she said, build something together, create our own success. It sounded good. Sounded like what I'd wanted something meaningful to do with my retirement beyond just existing. We started planning, researched the market, figured out startup costs, made business plans. We'd need about 8 million baht to do it properly, about $230,000. Office, space, equipment, licenses, marketing, operating capital for the first year. That's a lot, I said. It is. But think of it as an investment in our future. In 6 months, we could be making 50,000 baht monthly profit. In a year, maybe 100,000. This could be our retirement income forever. The math made sense. The vision made sense. We were married now. Building something together made sense. I transferred $230,000 in February. We opened a joint account, both our names, both able to access it. Partnership money, our future together. Looking back now, that was the moment I lost everything. The moment she gained legal access to it all, and the countdown began. The business setup took longer than expected. Mona said finding proper office space was difficult. Bangkok's commercial real estate market was competitive. We looked at a dozen places. Each had problems. Too expensive, wrong location, bad lease terms. Meanwhile, money kept disappearing. Business licenses required fees, equipment deposits, marketing consultant retainers. Each expense was plausible but added up fast. By March, we'd spent $60,000 on setup costs. Nothing was operational yet. I started questioning the expenses. Mona, we've spent $60,000 already and we don't even have an office yet. I know it's frustrating, but these things take time in Thailand. Permits, approvals, everything moves slow. Can I see the receipts? I'd like to understand where the money's going. Her face tightened. You don't trust me? It's not about trust. I just want to track our business expenses properly. I've been handling everything while you explore the city and meet friends. I'm doing all the work. And now you question me like I'm stealing? I'm not accusing you of stealing. I'm trying to understand our finances. You know what? Fine, you handle it. You deal with Thai bureaucrats and permits and landlords who don't speak English. See how easy it is. She stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. I stood in the living room feeling like I'd done something wrong, even though I'd only asked a reasonable question. This became a pattern. Anytime I asked about money, she'd get defensive, turn it around on me, make me feel guilty for not trusting her, and I'd end up apologizing. I'm sorry, I'd say. I do trust you. I'm just stressed about expenses. I understand. But you need to trust that I'm doing my best. This is my country. I know how things work here. More money disappeared. Her mother needed surgery, 40,000 baht, about $1,100. Her brother's business failed, he needed help paying debts. 30,000 baht, about $870. Each request came with urgency. Each felt legitimate. Each chipped away at our savings. By April, we'd burned through $130,000. Our joint account that started with $230,000 had dropped to $100,000, plus the $100,000 I'd spent on the condo. Total invested, $230,000. Remaining savings, $362,000. I tried talking to Mona about slowing down. We need to be more careful with money. We're spending faster than I'm comfortable with. The business is almost ready. Another month and we'll start generating income. You said that last month. Things take time. You want me to rush and do things wrong, or take time and do things right? I want to see progress. Some tangible result for the $130,000 we've spent. The tangible result is our marriage, our life together, our future. But if all you care about is money, maybe you should go back to America where everything's about counting dollars. She'd cry. I'd feel terrible. We'd reconcile. The same cycle every time I tried to establish boundaries. My daughter Jessica called in May. We'd been texting but hadn't spoken since I got married. Dad, I wanted to check in. How's married life? It's good. Adjusting to living with someone again after being alone. How's the money situation? You being careful? Of course. Why? Because Michael talked to someone who said Thailand marriage scams are really common. They marry the guy, get access to his money, then disappear. Mona's not scamming me. We have a business together. We're building something. A business? Dad, how much have you invested? I didn't want to answer. We're fine. We're being smart. How much, Dad? About 230,000 so far. Silence. Then, Jesus Christ, Dad, that's almost half your savings. It's a business investment. We're partners. Did you at least keep some accounts separate? Some money she can't access? We have a joint account for the business, but I still have my personal accounts. Please tell me the personal accounts have most of your money. They have enough. How much is enough? Jessica, I'm 62. I can make my own financial decisions. Can you? Because from here it looks like you've given a woman you barely know access to a fortune while getting no tangible return. You don't know her. You don't know our relationship. Then invite me to visit. Let me meet her. Let me see this business you're building. We're too busy right now. Maybe in a few months. The truth was, I didn't want Jessica meeting Mona because I was afraid of what she'd see. Afraid her outsider perspective would confirm the doubts I kept pushing down. After I hung up, Mona asked who'd called. My daughter. She wanted to check in. What did she say about me? Nothing much. Just asked how we're doing. Mona's face darkened. She thinks I'm scamming you, doesn't she? Your family thinks I'm just another Thai girl using a foreign man. She doesn't think that. She's just protective. I don't care what your family thinks. I know what we have is real. You know what we have is real. That's all that matters. She kissed me and I pushed the doubts away. We were building something. This was just a rough patch. All relationships had them. In June, 9 months after moving into our condo, I got a call from Michael. My ex-wife Linda was in the hospital, heart attack. She was stable but needed surgery. The kids wanted me to come back, be there for support. I know you're divorced, Michael said, but she's still our mom. And the kids, your grandkids, are scared. They're asking about Grandpa. I hadn't seen my grandkids in over a year. Hadn't been there for birthdays or holidays. I'd chosen Thailand over family. I'll book a flight, I said. Be there in a couple days. Mona wasn't happy about it. How long will you be gone? Maybe 2 weeks. Depends on Linda's recovery. 2 weeks? Steve, we're in the middle of setting up the business. I need you here. This is my family. My ex-wife might die. I have to go. Fine, go. But don't expect me to put everything on hold while you play grandfather in America. I left Bangkok on June 15th. Flew back to Cleveland for the first time since leaving 13 months earlier. Everything felt familiar and foreign at once. The cold air conditioning, the wide roads, the English everywhere. Linda's surgery went well. She'd be okay. I spent time with Jessica and Michael, met their spouses properly, played with my grandkids who barely remembered me. They called me that grandpa, until Jessica corrected them. Why do you live so far away? My grandson asked. Because Grandpa needed a change, I said. But I'm here now. Being with family felt good. Felt like I'd been missing something without realizing it. Michael asked about Mona. How's she doing? Managing okay without you? She's fine. Busy with our business setup. What kind of business? Translation agency. Serving international clients. That's cool. When's it launching? Soon. Another month or two. And how much have you invested? I didn't want to answer. Enough to do it right. Michael exchanged looks with Jessica. Dad, we're worried about you. I'm fine. Are you? Because you left America, married someone half your age after knowing her a few months, and now you're funding some business we know nothing about. You don't know Mona. If you met her, you'd understand. Then bring her to meet us. Fly her to Cleveland. Let us see this relationship is real. She's too busy with work. Dad, Jessica's voice was gentle. We love you. We want you to be happy. But from here, this looks like you're being used. I'm not being used. Mona loves me. We're building a life together. They didn't push further. But I saw the doubt in their eyes. The same doubt I kept pushing down. I stayed in Cleveland 2 weeks. Linda recovered well. I spent time with the grandkids, had dinners with Jessica and Michael, almost felt like I belonged again. But I missed Mona, missed Bangkok, missed the life I'd been building. America felt cold and judgy and exhausting. I flew back to Bangkok on June 30th. Took a taxi from the airport to our condo in Asoke, excited to see Mona, to be home. I unlocked the door and stepped into emptiness. The condo was bare. Furniture gone, TV gone, kitchen supplies gone, Mona's clothes gone, everything gone except my suitcases that I'd left behind and some basic items that were clearly too worthless to take. I stood in the empty living room, my heart pounding, trying to understand what I was seeing. I pulled out my phone and opened my Bank of America app with shaking hands. My personal account, $412. Our joint account, $0. She'd emptied everything. $332,000 from my personal accounts I thought only I could access. But she was my legal wife. Thai banks had given her access. Total lost, $462,000. Everything except $412 remaining. I called Mona. Phone disconnected. Texted her. Messages didn't deliver. Checked her social media, all accounts deleted or blocked. I sat on the bare floor of the empty condo and understood with crushing clarity what I'd been. Not a husband, not a partner. Just a sophisticated Mark who'd been carefully groomed, legally married, given joint access to everything, then emptied out the moment he left the country. She hadn't stolen my money first. She'd stolen my trust. The money just followed. I called the police from the empty condo. They arrived an hour later, two officers who looked completely unsurprised by my story. "Your wife take money and leave?" one asked in broken English. "Yes, all of it. $460,000. They took notes, looked at my bank statements, examined the empty condo. "This difficult situation. She, your legal wife. Thai laws say husband and wife share property. She maybe have right to take money. She didn't just take half. She took everything. You can make report. We try find her. But may be difficult. If she leave Bangkok, if she use different name, very hard." They took my statement. I never heard from them again. I hired a lawyer, an American expat in Bangkok, who specialized in these cases. He looked at my marriage certificate, bank records, property documents. "The condo's in her name?" he asked. "Yes." She said it was easier that way. "And your bank accounts?" "Personal accounts in my name, but Thai banks gave her access as my legal wife." "Did you sign anything giving her access?" I tried to remember. "The paperwork when we opened the joint account, other documents she'd had me sign." "I might have. I don't remember exactly." The lawyer shook his head. "Mr. Harmon, I'm sorry, but you have almost no legal recourse. She's your legal wife. The condo was always hers. The joint account was accessible to both of you. The personal accounts, if you signed access papers, she had legal right to withdraw. But she stole everything. In Thai law, it's marital property. She didn't steal, she accessed what she had legal right to access. It's morally wrong, but legally complicated. Can we find her? We can try. But I've handled dozens of cases like this. These women are professionals. They use fake documents, multiple identities, leave the country immediately. Even if we find her, recovering the money is nearly impossible. I paid him $2,000 for my remaining $412. He did some investigating, found that Chalita Fecharat was probably a fake name. The university she claimed to attend had no record of her. The translator license she'd shown me was forged. Her mother wasn't. Her mother just an actress paid to play the role. Her brother didn't exist. The friends she'd introduced me to were probably part of the scam. Everything had been performance, calculated manipulation. From the first message on ThaiCupid to the wedding to the business plans, all designed to gain legal access to everything I owned. These scams are increasingly sophisticated, the lawyer explained. They target educated men who think they're too smart to fall for bar girl scams. They present as professional, independent women. They date you properly, take things slow, seem genuine. By the time they marry you and gain access to your money, you're so convinced it's real that you don't see the con until it's over. I contacted ThaiCupid. Her profile was deleted. They said they'd investigate, but couldn't help further. I contacted the landlord of the condo. He confirmed Mona had sold the property in late June for 3.4 million baht, about $98,000. Less than I'd paid, but she'd made the sale quick. The money went to an account I didn't have access to. I had $412 to my name, a social security pension that wouldn't start for 3 more years. No home, no business, no wife, no future. I'd lost everything to a woman whose real name I didn't know, who'd played her role so perfectly. I never suspected until she vanished. I couldn't afford to stay in Bangkok. Couldn't even afford a cheap apartment. I contacted expat groups online, explaining my situation, asking for help. A guy named Tom, who ran a small guest house in Chiang Mai, reached out. "I've seen this story too many times. I have a small room you can stay in exchange for helping around the property. Computer work, guest management, that kind of thing. Sound fair?" It sounded like survival. I took a bus to Chiang Mai, 11 hours north, cheaper than flying. Tom's guest house was basic 10 rooms, mostly housing long-term budget travelers and semi-broke expats. My room was tiny mattress on the floor, fan, shared bathroom. But it was shelter. It was survival. I helped Tom manage the property, updated the website, handled booking inquiries, fixed computer problems, did basic maintenance. He let me stay free in exchange for 20 hours weekly work. I found some online work, freelance technical writing, data entry, anything that paid, made maybe $500 monthly. Combined with eating cheaply and having free accommodation, I could survive. Barely. My kids sent money. Jessica sent $1,000. Michael sent $500. They didn't say, "I told you so," but I heard it in every wire transfer. I applied for my Social Security early at 62 reduced benefits, but I couldn't wait until 67. I'd get about $1,300 monthly starting in 3 months. Enough to rent a small room, eat properly, survive with dignity. But I'd never have savings again, never have security. I'd be living month to month for the rest of my life. I filed for divorce from Mona through the American embassy. They handled it as a case of abandonment. The Thai government had no objections. She'd vanished, couldn't be served papers. The divorce was finalized in absentia after 90 days. I was single again, broke again, starting over again at 62 with nothing. I've been in Chiang Mai for 6 months now, still working at Tom's guest house, still doing freelance work online, still surviving day to day. My Social Security started last month, $1,300 monthly. I rented a small studio apartment for 4,000 baht, about $115. Not nice, but mine. I eat cheap Thai food, avoid bars and nightlife, live quietly. I'm 63 now. I look older. I've lost weight from stress and cheap food. My hair has gone completely white. I look like what I am, a broken man who gambled everything on love and lost. I think about Mona sometimes. Wonder if she ever felt anything real for me, or if every moment was performance. The mornings drinking coffee together, the dinners we cooked, the nights she'd curl against me and whisper that she loved me. Was any of it real? I know the answer. It was all performance, carefully calculated to make me believe I'd found something genuine. She was probably running the same scam on multiple men simultaneously, telling each one they were special, different, the real deal. The sophistication of it still amazes me. She wasn't some uneducated bar girl. She was educated, articulate, professional. She knew exactly what a skeptical, intelligent man needed to hear to lower his guard. She played me perfectly. My daughter Jessica calls weekly now. She feels guilty, thinks she should have pushed harder to stop me. You tried to warn me, I tell her. I didn't listen. That's on me, not you. I just wish I'd done more. I wouldn't have listened. I was convinced this was different, that I was different. That's how these scams work. They make you think you're special, immune to what happens to other guys. I help other men at Tom's guest house. We get scam victims regularly, men who lost everything to Thai, women who seem genuine. I listen to their stories, make them tea, tell them they'll survive. Does it get easier? They ask. No, I say honestly. You just learn to carry it. Tom says I should write about my experience, warn other men. But who would listen? Everyone thinks they're too smart to fall for it. I thought I was too smart. I'd avoided the bar scene, dated properly, married legally, did everything right, and I still lost everything. My name is Stephen Harmon. I'm 63 years old. I live in a small studio apartment in Chiang Mai, surviving on Social Security and freelance work. I came to Thailand 16 months ago with $592,000, hoping to find love and happiness after my divorce. Instead, I found a professional con artist who married me, gained legal access to everything I owned, and vanished with $462,000. The condo I thought I bought was never mine. The business we were building never existed. The woman I married wasn't who she claimed to be. Her name was probably fake, her education fabricated, her entire identity constructed to run this scam. And I never suspected until it was too late, because she was exactly what I needed her to be: educated, independent, genuine. She wasn't a bar girl. She wasn't desperate. She was professional, had her own life, paid her own way. All the things that made me think this was real. That's how the sophisticated scams work. They target men who think they're too smart for traditional scams. They present as the woman you're looking for, the exception that proves the rule. I didn't fall for a Thai freelancer. I fell for the performance she sold me, and that performance cost me everything I'd worked 37 years to build. My kids have forgiven me, mostly. They send money when they can, call regularly, tell me they love me. They've invited me to come back to the US, but I can't afford it. Can't afford first and last month's rent anywhere in America. Can't face being the broke dad living in someone's spare room at 63. So I stay in Chiang Mai, work at the guest house, do my freelance jobs, survive month to month, help other broken men understand they're not alone. I touch my father's watch, sometimes sold everything else but kept this. I think about him working that factory job for 40 years, never seeing the world, never taking risks. I used to pity him. Now I wonder if he had the right idea. Stay where you know. Don't chase dreams halfway around the world. Don't believe in fairy tales when you're too old to be the hero. She didn't take my money first. She took my trust. The money just followed. That's what makes these scams so effective. They don't rob you. They make you give everything willingly while believing you're building something real. My social security gives me enough to survive, but not enough to live. I'll never have savings again, never have security. I'll die in this small room in Chiang Mai, alone, broke, a cautionary tale for other men who think they're different. The sun sets over Chiang Mai. My studio apartment is cooling down from the day's heat. In a few hours, I'll lie down on my mattress and try to sleep despite the motorbikes outside and the weight of everything I've lost. Tomorrow, I'll wake up and survive another day. Help Tom with the guest house, do some freelance work, eat rice and eggs, count the days until my next social security payment. That's all there is now. Survival. One day at a time, $1 at a time. That's Stephen Harmon's story. A cautionary tale written in bank statements and marriage certificates and empty condos. A reminder that the most dangerous scams don't look like scams. They look like exactly what you're hoping to find. I hope your story ends better than mine.